ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel. Yes, good morning, everybody. It's Coffee and time around the world and across the country. And Joe's got the morning off. This is Dave Richards, stuck with me for another 60 minutes or so. And so soon be over. And we'll have some fun talking to our friends here this morning. Namely, we have, let's see, on chair number 3, there you go, it's Melissa Murray.
Good morning, everyone.
Our
Happy
Monday
Friday.
and Friday panelist.
Happy Fry, yay, as the kids like to say.
Yeah. And also with us a half an hour earlier than usual because he's such an overachiever, Rich Elaine.
An overachiever, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Coming in that extra half hour today.
There we go.
To keep me in line.
Yeah, well, Joe said you might get lonely, so.
That's what he said, I'm sure. Yeah, well, Joe is, what can I say? So Joe's got the day off. He'll be back on Monday. Not to worry. Everything is okay, as far as we can tell. And like that. We will continue with what we normally do on Coffee and Conversation, all that. But first, we also normally do a message from our sponsors. Sponsor for this portion of Coffee and Conversation is the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. And I've opened up my inbox on my computer here. And we have the Eggs and Issues Breakfast with Governor McKee being announced. That's coming up next month, February the 4th at 8:30 in the morning. Kirkbrake Country Club is the location. So the governor won't have to go too far to get there, that's for sure. So anyway, but you know, these Eggs and Issues Breakfast give you a chance to meet the real movers and shakers, important people in our society and our government and our lives, and get a chance to see them and maybe even break bread and ask them a few questions afterwards, which is probably a pretty good idea. Of course, Business is Brewing is coming up on January 29th. February 5th, the day after the governor's Eggs and Issues, we have Welcome Wednesday at the Big Brothers and Sisters of Rhode Island down at Providence, and the 34th annual celebration is looming from 4:45 to 7:45 p.m. on February the 25th at Bally's in Lincoln. Friends, the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce is also on guard, standing on guard for you, watching those legislative critters down in Providence as they gather for more deliberations and actions and stuff like that. And they'll be sure to let all of their members know what's going on so you can be prepared. Even if it's only like, well, they passed this law, you ought to know. Because sometimes you're so busy, you don't even get that they passed the law. Like they passed a law in Massachusetts recently. And I just found out about it today. You can't sell or give away a puppy or a cat, a little kitten. Now, they've had the rules for pet stores for a long, long time. But you've got to be able to certify that puppy or that kitty cat is more than 8 weeks old before you can even give it to a friend.
Yeah, you should do that.
Or I mean, we grew up knowing this.
Right.
We grew up knowing this.
It should actually be 10, but
yeah, you really shouldn't. You shouldn't distribute a litter, as they called it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't distribute a litter and share the love until after they're weaned, for pity's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
Now we gotta get. Yeah, right.
Right.
And we all knew that, but for some reason, people stopped teaching people that. Now they got to make a law.
Because folks do it for money, unfortunately.
Well, everybody does something for money. I mean, today is Linda Lovelace's birthday. So everybody does something for money.
That's true.
And sometimes it's things that people approve of, and some is things that people don't approve of. So, well, that's the way it is on this planet. But anyway, there you go. Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, 334-1000. Rich, you had something to say?
Yeah, they gave me away when I was 10 weeks old.
10 weeks?
Yeah, they waited
there you
10
go. They
weeks
waited
like
till after.
Melissa suggested.
All right.
Oh, poor Rich.
No,
They gave you back to the store.
I'm only kidding. I had a very, very loving mother and father and good family, but I'm just joking here.
You had something. You have a piece of paper in your
Well, yeah, I
hand,
got
and you had
like
something that you wanted to talk
I
about.
don't know. Do we want?
I
we
mean,
wanna
I
get
have.
in-
Look at this. I got a stack of stuff. Talk
Oh,
about
look at that.
doing
Joe
utility.
got you all set up, did he?
My
Huh?
goodness me.
But yeah, I mean, I got a couple of things going on down at the post, and
You want to talk about them now?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
normal-
you
normal
can.
time
You tell
slot?
me.
You're all fired up
You're
right
the man.
Go
you
for
know?
it.
All right.
Go
Well,
for it. We just won't talk as much about it later on when we normally would.
well, you know, I kind of look some of this stuff up because everybody says. I go online and some of my friends and stuff, they belong to these certain entities and like dance clubs and studios
sure,
and things
yeah.
like, and they're all trying to raise money right around now.
Well,
and the way
everybody
they
is.
do it is around the Super Bowl.
You know, the MBTA is hiring headhunters to go out and raise money for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
well,
there you go.
Wild.
the state doesn't have any dough. We're not going to get it from the passengers. We might as well go out and steal it somewhere else. My goodness.
But with this Super Bowl stuff, it's like, and
What Super Bowl stuff?
well, the squares.
Not time for that.
The
Oh, no,
squares.
that's
you're not
no,
allowed.
no.
That's illegal. It's illegal in like, but if you're a nonprofit,
Like
it's not.
Rhode Island.
There are so many laws around it. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I'm watching
No,
some
there's
people.
only one law.
Are they legal?
There's only one law.
What is that law?
And then
Don't
there's
get caught?
And no. And no. I
Come
don't
on,
mean that.
oh, Melissa's sitting there going, oh.
There's only one law, and then there's exceptions
Okay.
by popular acclaim. There's exceptions, and there's exceptions by precedent. You know, that sort of thing like that. But there is only one law. And I'm going to tell you about the law that I worry about. Don't you dare say any place
Oh
when
no.
you're talking about that, because the radio station absolutely
will do.
cannot seem to promote anything that isn't sanctioned by the state government.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is I look
You
at
might
all
not
these-
know that, so I'm just trying to tell you.
I know that.
Preemptive strike.
No, yeah, but and I'm saying, but I looked some of it up, and it's just like 37 states it's not legal, and some states it is, and if you're a nonprofit, it is legal, and
In some
all
states.
depends on in some states, but
it's not
The
in
law
others.
is like all over the place. But I'm looking on Facebook and I'm watching all these people I know post all this stuff, and I'm going, and they're saying like they can win money, and I'm going, man, oh man, what is the matter with you?
In the state of Rhode
You're
Island,
going to get yourself arrested here.
in the state of Rhode Island, generally speaking, any game of chance defined as having a prize, a chance, and a consideration. The consideration is you buy a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
If you have those three things, you have what they legally call a lottery, although we come to know the term lottery as being the institution that runs the games. But so a game of chance, I'm going to use that term.
Mm-hmm.
You must, it is all regulated by the state. You must have permission of law enforcement, which in this state has been delegated to the state police as opposed
right.
to the different municipalities. There is no legal game of chance, except, according to the state police have told me, a door prize.
Door prize.
Because technically you bought a ticket to get in. And if they take the centerpieces, which have a value, and give them away, that's a door prize, to somebody at the table, and there's a chance that you'll get it or somebody else will
Yeah.
get it. So legally, that is a game of chance. But the state police have told me personally, a door prize is not something they want to control.
Yeah.
But everything else is.
That's right. That's right. And I'm going to leave it there.
That's the word in Rhode Island.
But no, there's we had a United Veterans Council meeting last night that, like, some of the stuff we talked about is brand new, believe it or not. And one of them was, to me, is extremely exciting. And I got, like, some of the paperwork here, and it's a organization called Boots to Briefcases.
Oh.
And it's helping to navigate.
Melissa's she's
like it.
nodding. She's
I like it.
You like it already?
You heard
I
about
already-
it?
No,
Have
no,
you
I
heard
just,
about it? No?
I like it already.
No, but
like the branding.
basically it's a military veterans coming back into the workforce
Oh, yeah.
and things like that, and how to do
Veterans
it.
have told me going out into a shooting war, was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But the most difficult thing they ever did in their life was getting out of the military and establishing themselves in society.
Transitioning
Because
back.
the
Absolutely.
thought process is totally different. You have to
Yeah.
learn how to think differently. You have to learn how to act differently and treat people differently than you did when you were in the service.
So the mission, though, of this Boots to Briefcases is it's free to military members.
Yeah.
And what they basically do is they bring you in and they show you how to do an interview process. They help you write your resumes, and they do all that. Not only they do it for the military veteran, but they'll do it for the wife. They'll do
Well,
it
that
for the
helps.
children,
Yeah.
and they do it for the grandchildren.
Well, they're all on the same journey, aren't they?
Yeah. So, like, you could be a veteran and, you know, you're fine, but your kid's having a hard time. You can go to these people, and it's free. It's free to military veterans.
How do you find them?
You can, and this is the way I promote my American Legion posts. You can call 401-766-7585. And if this is something you think you might be interested in, you can absolutely get the information. All you got to do is tell the people that you'd like Rich to give them a call on this, and I'll be more than happy to
Beautiful.
to give you a call back. But they're based, I guess, from what I'm reading on the stuff, they're based out of on Post Road in Warwick, Rhode Island,
Really?
and it's called Boots to Briefcases. And they do a civilian side of it for non-veterans. There's a fee involved in that. They got basic packages that go for, you know, depending on what they're going to teach you or bring you around to doing. They got packages that range anywhere from $150 to $750. But like I said, they said all this is free to veterans.
Nice.
So this was just announced last night, and they asked me to put the word out, so I just did that.
That's
and
nice.
another thing that's happening too, that our commander had a meeting with some people local, is like a veterans. About a month and a half ago, we actually had a veteran that made a telephone call to the UVC, Joe Gennaro. Joe got in touch with us. Long story short, we put this veteran and his wife up in hotels for a couple of days and stuff. They had no place to live, so, you know, we did all that, but of course everything's predicated on funding. Where are you going to get the money to do this, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we had conversation, I shouldn't say we, the commander had conversation the other day with a local Blackstone Valley group that actually has some funds that they can distribute for veterans in crisis. Now, I'm not going to sit here and guarantee that every veteran that calls the post is going to get help with what they need, but the funds are there, and you know, we can help veterans with. So, look, basically what I'm trying to say here, if you got a problem, you can
Reach out
call
for
us.
help.
We're not going to guarantee you, but we can probably lead you in the right direction. That's for sure. There's so much out there.
Is it fair to say you'll do everything you can do?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. You know, and like I said, we got 7 entities with the United Veterans Council that if I don't have the answer, I most certainly can go to any one of these people and get it. So it's, and you know what I'm going to mention, because I can, she knows. I'm going to mention the banner program. Hometown Heroes, like you go through all these little towns and stuff like that, and they got these banners that say Hometown Hero on it, and you got the picture of
Yeah,
the...
get them in Barreville. I saw them.
Yup,
And,
yep.
Did I see them in Cumberland, too?
Well, at this point in time, we are extremely hopeful to get this program going in Woonsocket. We have to have talks with the mayor and some of the people, but I think this is something that we're definitely going to be able to do. Let's put it this way: the program is well on its way to being successful. So we'll see what happens. I hope to have better, no, I shouldn't even say better news, just more clarification on this one in the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
But
There's a lot of moving parts.
a lot of moving parts, but let's put it this way. I've never seen so many moving parts going in the right direction.
Everyone's really excited about it.
Yes, we are. Yes,
Well,
we
that's
are.
great. Very
So,
good.
and we're going to have a meat raffle down at the post. We're going to have a mega meat raffle. I think the 26th. Yeah, Sunday the 26th starts at 3:00. We got 3 tables of meats. First table is going to start at 3, and then at 4:00 we got 2 other tables chock full of meat. So come on down to the Post 85 for the meat raffle.
That's a wonderful thing. I won a meat raffle once. I didn't even mean to, but I serious. I mean, a friend of mine was selling tickets. Yeah, bought a ticket. Next thing I know, I'm packing up the little XB with a big box of meat, and it took Denise and I months to get through it all.
There you go.
It was so generous.
There you go.
Yeah, it's nice, but meat keeps in the freezer, so
Absolutely.
there you go. All right, listen, we got to take a little break over here. We'll be back with Rich and Melissa. We'll talk about all kinds of things, serious and non-serious. But right now, it's time to go out to Las Vegas, Nevada, to our reporter at the can't say that, the CES show in Las Vegas, Holland Cook.
At my very first Consumer Electronics show, they were showing off VCRs, Back to the Future. What's here is now more about experiences than things. 2 days after her Golden Globes Lifetime Achievement Award, Viola Davis co-hosted Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian's keynote in the spectacular Las Vegas Sphere. Tom Brady was there too. He's a Delta strategic advisor and will host a new show on the airline's in-flight entertainment system, which will also feature exclusive commercial-free YouTube video. Delta is using artificial intelligence to personalize passengers' travel door to door, including SkyMiles points for Uber rides and Uber Eats. Like Delta, the Consumer Technology Association is celebrating its 100th anniversary. And yes, there are still acres of innovative new things here. In Las Vegas, I'm Holland Cook.
Are you retired or retiring soon? That's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3, Cumberland, Rhode Island. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, call Ed or Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON AM and FM. And Coffee and program continues here on this 10th day of January in 2025. Dave Rich is sitting in for Joe. That's why I'm in this chair instead of that chair over there. Melissa Murray is here, and so is Rich Elaine. We've been talking about a few things going on at the Post. Did you have one more that you wanted to talk about before we moved on to other subjects there, Richard?
No, we definitely should move on.
Okay. All kinds of things going on.
Oh, yes, there are.
Let's see. Well, here's one. For those who are wondering whatever happened to Alex Kithis, Melissa's smiling. For those who wondered whatever happened to Alex Kithis, we found out yesterday, because he is the communications coordinator now for the Rhode Island Coalition Against Domestic Violence.
Oh, I knew that.
You knew that, yeah?
Yeah, because
well, you know
they
things.
Yes, because I know things, but also because they What does that say?
I know things.
But yeah, I'm in politics and I know things. No, they communicate with elected officials.
Right.
So and he's the person that communicates. So
And
they do good work.
My first reaction, of course, is, well, okay, there really isn't any organization that's in favor of domestic violence.
Correct.
So, like, what do you do for a living, sort of thing. But I, reading his press release, which of course is talking about the tragedy that happened in West Greenwich, with a murder-suicide, and that whole family wiped
so
out.
So sad.
Very, very, 6 kids, well, there's the unborn kid and two born kids.
Yep.
The mother, and then the father took his own life afterwards.
So selfish.
Yeah, very, 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 very tough. But of course, they released a 2-page press release saying that they weren't in favor of it, and that you have to do things to stop this from happening, and so they're generally just advocating. Mm-hmm. I have a real difficult time trying to figure out in my own mind, what do you do about it? You can say it's wrong. You can pass every law you want, and people who are in trouble will react one way or another, and some people will do bad things like this. And then there will be victims like this. I don't know what you do to stop it from happening, except try to get by. And this is a bad term, but forgive me if I'm using the term improperly, but breed it out of society. It's a concept. Do you understand what I mean? I'm saying it badly.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's ever.
I think you can.
I don't know. I mean, presumably, and I'm pretty sure I'm 100% right on this, but this has been happening since forever, right? Right.
But
and
look, it doesn't happen
many
that often anymore.
Well, hopefully it doesn't, but I think there's still a huge stigma around it, and I think that we have to bring attention to it and talk about it, because if you're in that situation, you know, you may feel like you're alone and you're the only one, and then maybe you see this and you reach out to them and they offer you resources, and like they throw you a ladder, right? To pull you out. Like organizations like that offer resources to people, mostly women, but some men, that are in those domestic violence situations, that don't know where else to go. A lot of times they're financially dependent upon the person that they're with, or that. So,
but you're talking about the classic scenario. I know some very violent women.
Well, but
seriously,
what
you know, let's keep the gender out of it. I mean, these are families.
I'm just talking about statistics,
right?
Right. But like the fact of the matter is, when you're trapped or you feel trapped in that situation, you don't feel like there's anywhere that you can go, and maybe you're really embarrassed, or you feel guilty, or that it's your fault. You need resources. And so I think organizations like this put this out there to bring awareness, but also hopefully someone will say, oh, hey, what's that organization about? They'll look it up and they'll reach out, hopefully.
Good.
So I think there's value in it.
Well, sure
not to just say like, oh, this terrible thing happened, because it's absolutely awful. And I think
that's what the press release was.
Yeah. And I think the most selfish thing that you can do is, okay, you're going to take your own life, but before you do that, you kill your spouse who is expecting, 7 months pregnant. You kill your 2 little kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I hate to say it, it's going to sound terrible, but you know what, at least we don't have to pay for the incarceration.
Well, okay,
I know that's harsh, but
no, I get that.
yeah, I mean, it's obviously,
I know. Well, what you're saying, other people are thinking anyway.
Yeah, I said the thing that people are thinking. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I get that. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting, and we found out where Alex Kithis is now.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go. Well,
working behind the scenes.
Good luck. Good luck with that job. It's a tough job, boy. I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I think being a Woonsocket City Council is no fun. Try that one. He got himself a less fun job.
Yeah, but somebody has to be there to do the work, and I know that's like these organizations. They do a lot of work behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Advocating for people who are in not so ideal situations.
Want to talk about some news and stuff like that, or
let's talk about
public
some
service announcements?
Let's talk about something more uplifting.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Huh?
Happy New Year. LA's on fire. Yay.
Yeah. Well, the Providence City Council says, we got to do something about homelessness. Tag, you're it, Governor McKee. Okay? Mm-hmm. The state's got to do something. This is bigger than we can handle. Well, you know something? I have a feeling that that's not an improper statement. It's bigger than anybody can handle at the present time, because we've let it get so far out of hand. Mm-hmm. We did have a handle on it for a while, but we stopped having a handle on it now, and now it's bigger than anybody can handle. Well, anyway, Governor McKee said, got your message? No. Yeah. Because you can spend all kinds of money that we don't have on this problem, and it's not going to stop the problem. You got to come up with something else. Some plan that will curb and manage homelessness and reduce homelessness. And then, if it requires some funding, we can try to do that or figure it out somehow. But you don't have the plan yet. And so, because your plan is throw money at it.
You have to identify homelessness first.
Oh, I think we've done
I
that
think
already.
we've done that.
Well, you know,
We've
some, yeah, and the reason,
Just driving down the street, walking down the street.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
you've
Yeah.
identified it.
And
But-
we've done
well-
had people who've gone in and done pit counts, so we know where these people are and how many there are. We do. There are people who go in like every few weeks and do pit counts. So we have a good basis and we know where these folks
You're
are.
calling that pit counts?
Like yes, yeah. Point in time. Sorry. That
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Point in time, like at this point in time, there are X amount of people here. They're, mostly of this age.
Right,
They're
because it's
mostly-
got to be a
right.
snapshot because they keep moving.
Correct.
well, you're not
correct.
going to
It's like a
end it because a
snapshot.
lot of these people, and I just noticed from the military side of things, when you run into the homeless veterans, some of them, they want to stay where they're at. They want to stay in these encampments. They don't want to be
Like
shoved-
all very large, complicated problems, there's such a dynamic. There's people, the general public, in my experience, wants to simplify things, and because it's easier to get your arm around it and easier to tackle it and easier to do something for it, but there are those nailing jello to the wall problems that refuse to be simplified. And I think this homeless one is one of them. Because you've had experience with people who really don't want to go into the shelter with all the regulations and everything else that have to be there.
Yeah.
Get that. But then there are those who, boy, would I love to get into a homeless shelter, but there aren't any
Yeah. There's no spots
empty
open.
places. And they're not going to bring me in if it exceeds a certain limit. And there's other homeless people that maybe need it more than me. Maybe I can tough it out a little longer and somebody else is at a disadvantage. I don't want to take a bed away from somebody who's going to die tonight.
You'd be surprised at how many folks who are unhoused who have jobs and maintain jobs.
Oh, yeah.
And who can't go into the shelters because like the shelters close at 7 and you can't leave.
Yeah.
And they work later than that,
Yeah.
or so it's
Yeah. See what I mean?
Yeah,
there's
you're penalized for improving yourself,
for,
basically.
yeah, right.
Well, I know, but
Right.
the people running them have to have rules too.
That's true too. Yeah.
That's that. You can look at it and say, "Well, that's stupid." Well, okay, fine. When I hire somebody here, and boy, Melissa's going to smile on this one. When I hire somebody here, in our final conversation before we go out into the office and start doing our work, it's real simple. I says, "Guess what? Now it's time for you to get your legs underneath you, start doing your work, and enjoy watching me do stupid things. Because you're going to see the general manager of this company do stupid things. Why? Not because I'm stupid, but because all the easy, simple solutions to problems have been taken care of by all of you people. By the time it gets to my desk, I have a choice of 2, maybe 3 stupid things to do. Doing nothing would be stupider, so I choose something stupid and I do something stupid. So I get it. You can't always be a genius with the one solution that answers every question. Governor McKee is experiencing that now. But he thinks just throwing money at a problem, while it makes everybody feel good, causes another problem that you're going to have to address later. And that's what he's trying to say. Come up with the solution. And if it requires funding, then we can define it and we can try to work it out. But you got to come up with the solution first. And that's what he just told them. And
I disagree with the governor. I will say
Okay.
that the General Assembly has appropriated hundreds of millions of dollars to this problem, and we've had 3 now directors of housing, none of which have come up with a plan for this. It is actually incumbent upon that person to figure out how to wrap their arms around this as well, working with the agencies that do direct outreach. But, we have a new interim director, but we've had 2 directors who have not, and we have actually in committee asked them, like, what is the plan?
At the Senate committee
That's correct.
in your part-time job?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
And oh, we're working on the plan. We're working on the plan. We're working on the plan. And then, oh, there's no plan a year and a half later. So, the administration has had lots of time to come up with a plan. Hopefully this interim director, will present us with a plan, because we have allocated the money to that department to deal with this problem. So them saying that they're withholding the money to the communities and the outreach folks because they don't have the plan. Well, we need a statewide plan, but we also need to be flexible to the municipalities. So that's all that I want to say about that.
So you see, Rich, it's a lot more complicated than it looks.
You want to look at complication, and funny, they just brought this up on the news show I was watching before I came in this morning. They're talking about these wildfires in California. You want to talk about a homeless problem?
Oh my gosh.
Huh? I mean,
yeah?
Which and it's
seriously.
already, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
I mean, one person was saying one of the ways to fix it, what you're probably going to see is a mass amount of mobile homes go
That's
on
right.
the properties
That's
that
right.
these people own.
That's right.
So, like, you're going to see by the thousands.
Can't
Like,
do that. Zoning regulations.
No, they're
you
going
know
to have
what?
to change
then,
them.
then they're going to have to change them,
Yeah, can you see like a mobile home parks going down the
right?
Palisades Parkway or Malibu Beach, and where they
Sunset
used to have
Boulevard.
Well,
$25 million homes? All of a sudden, you
I
got a
was
trailer
also,
plunked in the middle.
but those areas have been high risk fire areas for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It has been advised that no one build their homes in those areas, but people with money somehow got allowed to, by the county or by the city or whatever, to build their homes there. And then guess what? Right?
Yep.
Those were high risk areas. They've always been high risk areas, but then there's been exceptions made and urban sprawl into these areas and all these like fancy homes that you see that are now burning down. And it's not that I don't have sympathy for these folks. I mean, this is going to be a huge problem, because I was just out in LA a couple of months ago, and my brother lives out there with his fiance and my baby niece, and the family's very worried. We're keeping close contact. But when I was there were a lot of unhoused people there already, and this is going to be a disaster. It is a disaster, and that is going to be part of the fallout. You're correct. Yeah.
I haven't. I mean, I'm watching what I'm watching on TV, but
It's
5 or
unreal.
6 years ago, I was up in the Santa Ana area, and I was up there for a wedding. We went to the bride's house, and the parents had like one of these homes that's nestled in these hills with all the woods around them and stuff like that. And when you just see what could happen, the perspective, and you can understand what
And
they're
when the
going
wind,
through.
the
And when
Santa Ana
that-
winds,
my
right?
God, I get
It
yeah.
burns. It burns upward.
It-
It burns upward.
Unbelievable.
Right?
Yeah, and it's
It goes from bottom to top, and
Yeah.
it just like there isn't really a way to contain it. Firefighters are doing the best they can,
Oh,
but they
absolutely.
just don't have the manpower to fight nature, really. So it's really sad.
yeah.
There you go. There you go. Another problem. I got a note in from the audience. You can call one in too at 766-1240. And the fabulous Denise will write it down and hand it to me, and I'll address the panel with it. This one addressed to Miss Melissa. There needs to be a shelter for addicts only to separate them from the other homeless people. That is their comment.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, that's basically inpatient addiction service, and you can't put somebody in recovery services if they don't want to be, right? But there's not enough. There's no space for anybody. Never mind different populations of people. You can't even begin to think about separating folks out when we don't even have a place to keep couples together. That it's crazy, right? I remember a story here in Woonsocket that there was a couple, and they said, well, we can take her here and we can take him there. She was disabled, and they didn't want to be apart. That's why they would rather stay together because they didn't want to be apart and they were, dependent upon each other. So you can't separate these different populations of people, demographics of people, because there's literally for anywhere to go right now.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
I get it. We've got to stop here because we're well over time on this Coffee and segment. We'll take our little bottom of the hour break, and then we'll return with more conversation on Coffee and. If you want to steer the conversation and deliver a comment, you go right ahead and do it. Otherwise, they'll just talk about what's in the news and what we think and what we know and what we hear as Coffee and continues.
In a world where good food, friendly faces, and unforgettable memories collide, there's one place that stands out from the rest. Gators Pub is proudly celebrating 35 years of excellence in North Smithfield. Join us at Gators Pub, where every visit feels like coming home. Our secret to success? It's simple. Our super friendly staff and mouth-watering dishes prepared fresh daily by our talented chefs. Sink your teeth into our delectable lunch specials from Monday through Thursday and savor complimentary soup to warm your soul. Enjoy the game day excitement with multiple TVs showing the Boston Red Sox while indulging in classic appetizers like our famous potato skins and pita chips. Looking for a lively atmosphere to watch volleyball games? Look no further. Pair it with our juicy burgers or the latest cocktail creations to elevate your experience. Gators Pub, your ultimate destination for good times and great food. Come and celebrate with us at Gators Pub on Route 102, just a mile before Wright's Chicken Farm. Make every moment memorable at Gators Pub, where good friends and great flavors meet. Remember, there are no strangers at Gators Pub, just good friends you haven't met yet.
Every winter, the state of Rhode Island prepares for the winter season, and we want you to be prepared as well. At the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency, our top priority is keeping everyone safe, so we want to remind you to be prepared for the ice, cold, and snow. Keep an emergency supply kit, have a communications plan, and stay informed. Find more information at riema.ri.gov or visit us on social media. Brought to you by the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Hi, this is Gary Smith. Join me for Do You Remember, Tuesday through Friday mornings at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
We're back on Coffee and here on ON AM and FM radio. Nice to have you with us today. Joe's got the day off. This is Dave. And we'll continue discussions in just a few moments. But right now, it's time for me to mention the Valley Breeze newspapers. I have in my hand the Cumberland and Lincoln edition of the Valley Breeze. See, my microphone's in the way. Oh, well. And the story from Sophia Barr from Lincoln that Town Administrator Gould is optimistic on progress in 2025 in Lincoln. And over in Cumberland, Ethan Shorey's writing that officials say that Cumberland needs to get better at recycling. Plus, there's a big mistake, puts New Pond Park future in limbo in Cumberland. Good local stories there. Turning now to the North Smithfield, Woonsocket, and Blackstone edition of the Valley Breeze this week. Officials say, I know we've been talking about it for a long time, but traffic calming plan is coming to the Stadium Theater. Still coming. Stay tuned for further developments. They haven't given up on the whole thing. Over in North Smithfield, the leaders there are very dissatisfied with the folks that they got to write grants for the town. We're not getting the grants. We're paying these people. We're not getting the grants. Well, they had a grant writer earlier, but there was a little problem there, and they decided not to work for North Smithfield anymore. Now they're saying, please come back. Read all about it in the Valley Breeze. And also in North Smithfield, it's the last town to join the Municipal Resiliency Program. And I have to plead ignorance on that one. I don't know what the Municipal Resiliency Program is. Perhaps you do, Melissa, no?
I don't recall.
Well, then read all about it in the Valley Breeze, why don't you?
Yeah, I
Free
will.
where you shop every Thursday. Wait a minute. Here's your copy right there,
Fantastic.
Melissa. So you can read
that,
all about
Melissa,
it.
so you know what
Right
it's
now.
about.
You can read all about it. Okay, very good. All kinds of things to talk about here this morning. What else do we have? The medical. Your health care is getting more expensive. Medical residents at Brown University Health are unionizing. The final vote was announced this week, 464 to 27 in favor of unionization, and the Committee of Residents and Interns Union wants, guess what? And the first two guesses don't count. Higher wages, a 401k matching program, and parental leave, which I thought was a state law anyway, and specific department benefits, things that would only be part of their job. They want control over that. And lifespan, which is getting off, they're really enjoying this, just ditching the lifespan name after all these years and calling themselves Brown University Health. And I can't figure out for the life of me why Brown University allowed them to use their name like that, because, oh my goodness me, to me, I don't see how it can benefit Brown University to have their name used
same.
this way.
But obviously, they're trying to rebrand, and they think that this will.
This happens.
Right, so-
When a company gets to a certain point, they say we can't use that name anymore for whatever reason, and then let's use another name. And so they got Brown University's name. Well, what can I say?
I know. It still trips me up, too, because I'll get a bill, right, from Lifespan Labs because I went to get blood work or whatever, and it says Brown University. I'm like, I don't go to Brown University anything.
That's right. And if so, where is my degree?
Actually, I did go to Brown for one semester. I went to Brown summer school by choice when I was in high school.
I played there one time in a concert. I was in a show band back in the 70s, and we were hired to play there for the student union at Brown University. Other than that, and going to Meehan Auditorium for high school hockey games, that's the extent of my experience with Brown University.
I drove by it once.
I know. Some of my peers were like, why are you choosing to go to summer school? And I'm like, no, I'm going to take a writing class. And,
Well, you have a couple of
Rich
degrees,
is
Melissa.
laughing because I was woke before it was cool.
And now it's not cool again. But that's kind of
That was for
silly.
you, Rich.
No, I know what you mean.
That's okay. That's okay. I've always said it, Melissa. We may not agree a lot on political stuff, but you're good to our veterans, and I've always appreciated that.
We always have fun.
Yes, we
Well,
do.
now, Melissa, let me take a left turn on this, because you were sworn in again with all the other senators.
Yay,
and-
that's right, too.
That's right. Yeah, on
legislators,
Tuesday. Yep.
This past Tuesday. And I happen to know, because you work in the office and you have to leave for this meeting and leave for that meeting, and of course we accommodate you the best we can. But the press release came out, which we had on the air on Wednesday morning.
That's right.
And when you came to work here, we didn't make you fill out a CV or a history of working and stuff like that, because we already knew you. And we knew that you could do what we needed you to do in the office, and you've done very well, by the way. I'm very proud to say publicly. But I didn't know that you had degrees from college, because that's in the press release
Yeah.
See?
that I read on Wednesday morning. I had no idea. You're educated. You're not only good, smart, and friendly, but you're educated too.
Now's the time to hit him up for a raise.
That's not funny, Rich.
Too late.
Yeah. No, most people don't know that I have a degree in criminal justice with
Amazing.
in forensic science. So
Ooh.
yeah, and I was FBI fingerprint analyst certified, but that was many moons ago, and I'm not sure that I could do a very good job now, because it's been like 15 years, so I don't remember a lot of it because I'm not in practice. So,
Well,
but
yeah,
I
everything you
got
have
my
to
degree
practice.
for that, and then I never. I was living in Phoenix, Arizona, and out there, in order to join the CSI team, they hire civilians who are specifically trained to do the job. They don't carry a gun or a badge. They don't chase after people. They basically go to the crime scene. They photograph it. They collect the evidence, scrape it up into bags, and they send it to the lab.
Yeah.
And then that's a different person.
You did that?
No, that was going to be my job. But
Oh,
then
going to be your job.
I ended up working as actually ended up working as a lab tech, and then I ended up getting a chemist job at a candle factory because of my science degree. So it was,
So you're like this morbid stuff then, huh? You kind of like the
What,
macabre.
candles? What's
it's
morbid
just-
about candles?
No. I'm talking about like
I mean,
crime
it doesn't,
scene stuff,
it doesn't bother me.
Oh,
but,
God.
No, she has an analytical mind. She can
Oh,
take
okay.
in evidence and separate and
'cause
compartmentalize
Like the
it.
good-
at the time I was vet teching, and I was going to go
Yeah.
for like, vet. But then I realized that people aren't always great to their pets, and that it probably wasn't a
It
good
bothered
fit
you.
for me, and because it bothered me too much, and then I would also end up with like every animal ever.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what,
In
this
your
isn't
home.
in my own home, and I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to handle this. So I switched over, and I was like, oh, forensics
Took a
sounds
right turn.
interesting, and I took all the science classes and stuff, and then I ended up moving back to the East Coast, where that job you have to be a police officer. So because I didn't want to be an officer with a gun and a badge. I just wanted to do the techie stuff. So
I get it.
that's many moons ago, and here I am.
Another comment from the audience, Melissa, while I still have you on camera on our previous subject.
Yeah.
Says, would you comment on this idea? The state should give tax credits for people who build shelters. I
Like
think
you
that's
mean
a complicated suggestion, but-
does that mean I'm not sure if that means organizations that build shelters, or like individuals who are willing to shelter someone in their home. That was something that a colleague and I looked into last year. It was a very bipartisan. I had a Republican colleague who we sat down together. We were trying to figure out if someone wants to take someone into their home and offer them a spot, like how would that work? And it was too complicated. But that was something that we talked about, because we were just kind of throwing all those solutions out there to see what could be done.
Right.
Yeah.
Brainstorming.
Yep. We were. But I mean, the money is there. We just need to get a plan and figure it out. But in the interim,
Might
I
not
think
be there this year.
well, the
Yeah,
money that was already allocated, right?
I get it. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks.
It's
We're
complicated.
already to the end of a segment over here. Final portion of our segment, sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspapers. We'll be right back.
The Valley Breeze has been a local news leader since its founding in 1996, and more people are reading our stories today than ever before. We believe our mission of making our community stronger by telling their stories is not just a tagline, but a way of life for our staff as they connect with you, our loyal readers and advertisers. Our team thanks you for always reading, always reaching out, and always helping toward our shared vision. Check out any of our 5 editions or visit valleybreeze.com for more.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest-standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision-making and a relationship-based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, and MLS number 465956.
The Rhode Island Veterans Home Career Fair is January 16th and 17th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 480 Medicom Ave in Bristol. We're hiring LPNs, CNAs, and cooks. Competitive pay, state benefits, and an immediate job offer. Learn more at vets.ri.gov.
All right, we're back here on Coffee and on ON, AM, and FM radio. Dave Richards here along with Melissa Murray and Rich Lane. And finally, after almost 9 years, the person who was arrested 2 years after the 2016 stabbing death of a dear friend of ours, in the neighborhood here, 81-year-old Constance Gauthier.
Yep.
In fact, one of the last things she did alive was to call Dave Balfour on the Do You Remember show.
Wow.
And then she was stabbed to death in her home.
Yeah, and she had a pug too. I remember that. But I knew that. That was just like such
I
a
know she had a dog.
tragic. Yeah.
But I'm looking here. It's been like 9 years.
Yes, it's been a long
They
time.
arrested him 7 years ago, and the trial started this week.
Unreal.
Now, wow. I have every confidence that justice should be deliberate, and it most often is. That there's a reason for court delays. There's new information. There's this, that, and the other thing. There's busy lawyers who are also trying other cases. There's a court calendar that is subject to days off and the pandemic and trying to catch up from the pandemic and all the rest of that stuff. I get it. But wowie zowie, 7 years incarcerated before you come to trial, and it's just getting there now.
Yeah, that's not. I feel
That's
bad
not
for the
swift justice.
It's
There
not,
may have been good reasons,
and
but
the
it's not
family. That I mean, this must just be
Oh, yeah.
a long, excruciating saga for them. It's just horribly unfair. You know, for whatever reason, it took this long. I saw that the other day, and I said, I can't believe this guy has not had a trial yet.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah.
Totally crazy. Well, anyway, opening arguments to the jury on Wednesday from the prosecution. The defense had no opening argument.
Okay.
Well, kind of makes sense.
I could make one. No. He says no. I mean, it's not really an open argument. It's more like a I mean, you don't do that in court.
Yeah.
But to say nothing? Or just, I don't know. That's kind of weird. But, I mean, you can find fault with anything that, you weren't there, you didn't see it, so you didn't know.
Hopefully, the trial will be swift, and the family can get justice for this.
I certainly hope so.
It's been a long time.
It has been a very, very long time. All right.
I've been reading up on some cool stuff.
Yeah?
You want? Let's talk about a happy thing.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, you wanna?
Yeah, let's do it.
How
Rich.
about that windfall elimination provision that our president signed? Huh? Put his signature on it on Sunday because they thought they were going to.
I was
past
thinking
Sunday
of you
because
when I came up.
Were you? I was. And they. I think I discussed with Melissa a couple
Not
of weeks
you
ago. That,
only,
did,
by
yeah.
the way.
No, I know
I
it.
know several people who were in that situation.
Oh God! And I tell you what, the best part
I
of
know one who didn't retire because of that situation.
I
And
can
just
imagine.
stayed working.
Yeah.
For sure.
I can. There was a little provision in it that stated that, and everybody was wondering whether it was going to be retro at all because it's a 2024
Well, that'll bankrupt a few
bill. Well,
organizations.
I'll tell you that the president said it at the signing. He said one of the better part of the bills, he said, was that there is going to be a lump sum payment made to people because it's basically, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but it's a 2024 bill. So it's going to be retroed from January of 2024 for the whole year.
Yeah.
So
Typically that
and he
does
said
not
a lu-
happen, but-
and he said lump sum.
Yep.
And because there was discussion going back and forth during the whole thing, are they going to lump sum it? Is it actually going to be retroed? Are they going to do payments in increments when it finally go? And then I read an article the other day that, backed up that statement by the president saying that it's going to be a lump sum. But now, like anything else in government, well, we don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know what, the Social Security Administration has got to figure all this out. They got to process this out. And what do they
stick my neck out?
Yeah, well, what do they call it when, and I can't remember the terminology they use.
Red tape?
But no, yeah, they call it that too. But the budget, the federal budget is on it call it something resolution. It's like the government's only funded till March. Federal government.
Oh, you mean a sunset provision?
Yeah, no, it's like they call it something anyhow, but they're saying that to be one of the excuses that the federal government's only financed until March of 2025.
Oh gosh.
It starts with a C, the first word.
yeah,
I can't think of what it is, but anyhow, they're making that as one of the excuses, and the Social Security is being handed out to more people than ever, and they're short 50,000 workers at the Social Security
come on. They knew this was
Administration. So
happening.
They knew
they
this
are
was
making
coming.
so many damn
Everybody.
excuses.
They knew it was
It's crazy.
coming.
I know, but I'm sitting back and I'm going, This
you're
is
getting money. We have absolutely
can't have
no
it.
idea.
No idea. Checks
when
in the
you're-
mail.
yeah, checks in the mail.
checks in the mail. Yeah, and
Can't
I'm
have
just
it both ways. The baby boomers paid in. You have more people paying in than ever before. Now you're going to have more people taking out than ever before. Listen, you can't have it both ways.
But you want to know what the good part about it, though? And they have been crying this same tune for years now, how they've got to fix Social Security. And it's too bad that it has to come to the point where they make things right for the people that deserve this money. They finally make things right. And it took that much pressure to almost say, all right, we're going to drain the system basically by 2035. We have to fix it. Now they're forced to fix it.
Now you're up against
That-
it,
Now
right.
you
Right.
really have
Yeah.
to fix
But that's
it.
when government works best, when they're forced to do something.
Yeah.
True story.
That's when they actually move at less than a snail's pace and they move up to turtle pace. So there you go. By the way, we got a message texted in to the panel. I don't know why they didn't want to talk to the fabulous Denise. But anyway, amen to the windfall repeal.
Yes, I
There you
agree
go.
with that person.
Want to have a lightning round?
Yeah, sure, let's
2
go.
minutes?
All
Yeah,
right,
go.
let's do it.
Let's go.
One quick one sentence answers and stuff like that. Okay, great.
Well, you're slow in the lightning round.
Yeah, I'm having Massachusetts guy. The problem is I have a cough drop, and the
okay.
cough drop is
Okay.
now to the point where I can't talk. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey's administration says not all emergency shelter residents had been subjected to background checks, and she's going to fix it.
Don't ask me to say anything about her.
Okay. A FedEx driver was robbed and threatened in Harvard. They took an Apple computer from a FedEx driver who was delivering it that day.
Yeah, this has
Bunch
been a
of guys.
problem. This has been an ongoing problem of,
Yep.
of people delivering packages getting robbed.
Right.
Well, at least they're robbing you at the truck and not at the front doorstep now.
That's happening too, right?
A woman in Taunton has been convicted in connection with a scheme to use counterfeit coupons to steal from Stop and Shop supermarkets. It says here that they've gone back in their records and she has probably accumulated $25,000 of stuff she didn't deserve to get.
That's a super.
So sure, in California should be
How
all
do you
set
even
though,
have
no
that?
problem.
Okay, all right, but they're fake coupons.
Right? $900 under $900, you wouldn't even need the coupons.
Oh my gosh.
All right. The TSA, Transportation Security Administration, I
Yes.
think is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it
yes,
is.
yes.
The TSA is out with a list of top 10 items confiscated at airport security
Oh,
checkpoints
no.
in 2024. Anybody want to...
Yeah, I'll go with that.
What's the
bet you
number one?
I
What's
bet
the
you
number
perfume.
one?
Perfume. I bet. Women carrying like more than 3 ounces of
Nope.
perfume?
Knives.
No.
No.
A gun hidden in a baby stroller
What?
at Houston Airport. Drugs
Oh, my
hidden in
gosh.
toothpaste tube, methamphetamine in crutches, and snakes hidden inside a guy's pants. Was on the
Oh, I'm not touching that one.
That was on the hit parade,
Oh goodness.
I ain't touching that one.
Yeah, no.
and the
I'm not.
TSA rated them. They say, "Here's our
Really?
top 10."
Top
Oh my
top
God.
10. Okay.
Wow.
What do
So
you think
was there a
about that?
baby in the stroller too? With the gun?
Well, you-
Yeah, well, you
think
don't
so?
have
Oh
a stroller
my
without a baby.
gosh! Oh my gosh! Not what could go wrong? Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So, all right. So there you have it. Jamie Lee Curtis is donating $1 million for fire relief.
Yep.
She
Didn't
doesn't
she
know who to
lose
give
her?
it to
Yeah, I
yet.
thought she was
I
one
thought
that
she
lost
lost
her
her home
too,
also.
That's
Yeah.
right. She doesn't know who to give it to yet, but she says somebody's going to come up for this, and
Yeah.
I'm going to support it.
Good for her.
Which
Yeah.
is, you know,
I think a
interesting.
lot of people want to help, but they just don't, they don't know how to help.
Exactly. You know that the clock is tick-tocking, and at the end of the month, TikTok better be owned by somebody else, or if it's still owned by the company that's owned by now, ByteDance, it's going to be banned electronically from doing business in the United States of America. Two people have come up forward. Former Los Angeles Dodgers owner Frank McCourt and Shark Tank famous investor Kevin O'Leary are looking to buy TikTok. Any comments?
I didn't think the president was like, I thought he said TikTok, he was taking a closer look at it because he thought he got a lot of votes from the younger people, the incoming president.
I don't know how you, well, they can say, oh, here's the clock is stopping, but how do you ban it?
Yeah.
How do you ban it? You can ban it in a workplace. You can ban it. How you can't.
Yeah.
People will find a way.
No, Kevin O'Leary's pretty neat. I like him. So I think it.
No,
you
it's,
like him?
it's
I think
easy.
it-
With internet traffic, they can simply just do whack-a-mole with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
with
that's
the
it.
IP address coming, and then
I think people will
That's-
figure out a way to
Yeah, yeah.
do it.
yeah.
yeah, well, maybe with a VPN.
Yeah.
Like the Indian.
And why TikTok and not other horrible social media platforms, right? If you're gonna
Oh,
do
but the-
one,
Yeah, well, you don't go there because it's one owned by the president or
well, I understand,
Symbolic.
but
the next president.
yeah,
Excuse me.
Will we one?
Overdose deaths in the United
Right.
States. Overdose deaths in
story.
the United States are rapidly outpacing other countries. This is another one that figures lie and liars figure, in my opinion. We're counting them more, and more people are surviving overdose because we have the chemicals to keep them from dying.
yep, that's right.
And so now they are around long enough to be counted. So now they're saying that there's a lot more overdoses.
There are.
But they say it this way. The Commonwealth Fund discovered that the United States has the highest rate of overdoses out of 30 other developed countries like Canada, Scotland, Iceland, Sweden, Japan, and more. I always wanted to visit more. The U.S. has the U.S. has 324 overdose deaths per 1 million people.
That seems like a
Rhode
little-
Island, on the other hand, has fewer overdose deaths than they have since 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something for Rhode Island to be proud of?
Yeah,
You think so?
Yeah.
I do.
Very good.
Fewer overdose deaths, and it's because of that we have Narcan and things available. People can't get better if they're dead.
Right.
So
And but there's the other side that says it emboldens them to attempt things that may lead to an overdose because they figure they'll survive it.
I don't see
Well,
that.
well, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
And finally, the United States is warning of dangerous or ineffective drugs from illegally run online pharmacies. A report from the Office of the United States Trade Representative showed that 19 countries raised concerns about possibly counterfeit and pirated drugs. Ambassador Catherine Tai said in a statement that it's a shared global concern and urged allies to join in the fight against counterfeit and pirated products.
That's been going on forever.
That's
not new.
online
That's not new,
pharmacy.
but
Yeah, that's not
been
newness,
happening
no.
forever.
Yeah, it has.
Online pharmacy. Well, folks, that's about all the time we have for today's deliberations. We are very happy that you joined us today. We hope that we return the favor with some interesting conversation. Melissa, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. Have a great weekend, everyone. You stay warm and check on your neighbors.
Yes, and we'll catch you in the office later on.
Yep.
Rich, till next Friday.
Absolutely. I have such a good time.
Thank you very much. We'll stay out of mischief there.
Okay.
Not likely.
And I'm Dave Richards. Coming up on Monday, Melissa will return, I'll return, and Joe Callahan will return too to the Coffee Am program. If you missed any portion of it, pick it up on demand at woonsocketradio.com.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee is rejecting calls from advocates to declare homelessness a public health emergency. He says such a declaration would not solve the complex problem of homelessness. The governor argues instead the state must look at long-term solutions. However, advocates warn the government inaction will cause deaths, especially during the current stretch of extremely cold weather, in the near term. Medical residents at Brown University Health, formerly Lifespan, are unionizing at Rhode Island Hospital. The final vote announced Tuesday was 464 to 27 in favor, a big margin. The Committee of Residents and Interns Union wants higher wages, a 401k matching program, parental leave, and specific department benefits. The local NPR radio station in Providence also reported a spokesperson for Brown University Health looks forward to working with the union in good faith.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Cass.